I look up that information. I'm like, okay, they're paying 220, 215. He just asked for 200. That's 15,000 right there. $20,000. Great market to make money in. Story. So I was a victim of gun violence in 2009, which left me paralyzed from my chest down. And I actually got shot while I was in my room studying for my real estate exam. It was something I was pursuing prior to my injury, and I came across the strategy and concept of wholesaling houses. My ambition was to be a real estate investor, and so I went ahead and started my course to get my real estate license January 2009. And on a day that I went home to study for my exam, I got shot during a home invasion, and you know, with my real estate book open. And to be here today to just speak on this topic and show people how over the years I was able to overcome and begin real estate wholesaling myself, even from a wheelchair, is just such a blessing. So it's all coming full circle. Like Terrell said, we started an organization this April called the Thump Yard, which we are using to raise awareness on gun violence through boxing. I used to be a boxer. My father was a professional boxer, so I grew up in the sport my whole life. So it was a way for me to get back involved in the sport and fuse it with the message. So just to be here today at this Guns Down, Gloves Up Summit, you know, it's like I said, it's full circle, and it gives me purpose. You guys ever heard of flipping houses with no cash, no credit? And wholesaling is a strategy that falls in the real estate investing world, and it's a way for you to get involved in real estate the best way, I say, with no cash, literally with no cash, no credit, because essentially what you're doing is you're flipping a contract to purchase a property. So you're really not flipping houses, you're flipping contracts. There's several ways to do it. I've been doing this since 2011. That came to my head when I came out the hospital. It was like, how the heck am I'm gonna flip houses and do real estate from a wheelchair? But you know, by the grace of God, I had a good team and a support system around me, and I was able to make it happen. You know, it takes a lot of persistence and commitment to really make this business work. And there may be some frustrations at sometimes, but this business has allowed me to live a full independent life, and be able to provide for my family and really open up a lot of doors for myself. But it all started with the dream, like I said, back in 2009 when I was studying for that exam, you know. And so it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey. I'm coming up on my 13th year anniversary being in this chair, and to date, I could say I've been a part of over 150 transactions through DC and Maryland.
Hold on. Now, I don't want that to go over your head, man. Can I get a round of applause for that, man? Man said 150 transactions. Tell them what a transaction.
After I got out the hospital, I still went ahead and pursued getting my real estate license at the end of 2010. Took about a year, like after getting out the hospital, but I didn't give up. So I am also a licensed agent in DC and Maryland. But a transaction would be anytime you get to the closing table and you get a check from either working a wholesale deal, which the majority of what I've done is wholesales. I've also done rehab, fix and flips with my brother Rigo, who's the other co-founder of the Thump Yard of J&R Homes. And so, yeah, that's a transaction. So essentially what you're doing is you're getting a property under contract, a real estate purchase contract, and that contract is assignable. Now, the fact that it's assignable gives you the right and the flexibility to assign the contract over to a third party. The third party typically is going to be an investor buyer. Let's say your customers, right? These investor buyers, they're always looking for deals. They're hitting your phone up, and you got anything good? You know, so you're essentially the house plug. That's the plug. That's the plug. Well, you're the house plug as a wholesaler. So yes, you're the middleman, and you are getting properties under contract. Now, the properties that you're finding are going to be properties that need work. And essentially, as a seller, as a homeowner, you have two options to sell a property. You can sell it with a real estate agent, or you can sell it yourself for sale by owner. So a majority of the wholesale deals and properties that investors purchase are off-market properties. So real estate, you can think of it in two sides. So you have on market, on the MLS with the real estate agent, or you got off market. So most of the deals happen in an off market space, and you're marketing directly to owners. So one easy way to get started, these vacant houses, it's a situation going on. So you get down the addresses and then use public records to get the owner's information, their name and their mailing address. And then you can use a free website like truepeoplesearch.com, plug in their name and their address, and right there you got phone numbers. It's like a sales and marketing business. So you need to advertise or cold call. A lot of the deals I've done over the years is strictly just been over the phone cold calling these owners to see if they want to sell. When it comes to vacant houses, there could be multiple layers, multiple situations happening at the same time. So you got a vacant house that maybe got a bunch of code violations, and let me give you guys a tip. In the district, if your house is vacant, they increase your taxes by like 5. Like, it's crazy, and it's terrible because a lot of people end up having to sell their house. So there's a lot of wealth that's being lost to this. You know, I see it a lot that families, they want to keep the property, but due to, for some reason, they can't keep it up. The house is vacant. DC now increases the taxes. Now the property goes to tax sale. So what happens is in the district, once a year, they auction off the delinquent taxes. So anyone could come and pay the taxes, and then what happens is that person, the owner of the house, needs to either sell or pay back that money that was paid.
If not, they could lose their house. So that's one strategy. Now, some people could look at it 2 different ways. Oh, you know, you're taking advantage. But at the same time, these people, if they don't sell the house and they don't have the money to pay back the taxes, they're losing the house. So as a wholesaler and as a real estate investor, you're really out here to solve problems. You know, so you're looking for people that need your help, that don't want to go the traditional route of listing their property on the market and paying a real estate agent. And some situations don't call for that. Some people, they need a quick sale. So let's say I come across this property, it's a vacant house, I look it up, owner's deceased, taxes are owed, $100,000 in taxes owed, it sold at tax sale. And so now I look up public information and I see there's an estate. So what happens is when a person passes away, it needs to go through probate. So then I contact the personal representative of the estate, which is you. So now we got a seller on the phone. I come across a seller, I find a personal representative's information. I plug their number into True People Search, boom, I got a phone number. So now I'm calling the owner. The whole point of making calls and maybe sending letters and doing advertising is to get somebody that wants to sell you their house. Now, once you have that, then the next step is you want to look at the comparable sales in the neighborhood and what investors have been paying, and also what the properties that are fully renovated selling for. That's called the after repair value, ARV. So he has a house here and he's asking for 200. I look up the information and I notice that, let's say properties in the neighborhood are selling for 450 fully renovated. Okay, now remember, his house at 200 is a hoarder house. You know, grandma ain't never did anything to the house. It's never been renovated. Roof is falling down. It's gonna need a ton of work. So I look at the comparable sales. I determine, okay, the ARV is 450,000. And then the next number I want to look for, I want to know, okay, what are these investors paying? How much are they paying for houses in similar condition as to this one, you know, that need work? And I look up that information. I'm like, okay, they're paying 220, 215. He just asked for 200. That's 15,000 right there, $20,000. You know? In this market right now, there's a lot of scarcity in deals. So investors are paying even more than what they really should. Great market to make money in. And I did this with no cash, no credit. So I'll go ahead and sign this purchase contract with Fari. Now remember my buddy here from Ireland, that he said he's looking for deals. Okay, he's I got some money, I need something, I love that neighborhood. 450, let's say we in Randall Heights somewhere. I'm the wholesaler, I'm the middleman. I got a real estate purchase contract with Fari, and then I have an investor he wants the deal, right? So I go ahead and sign an assignment of contract with my guy right here. So I signed this paperwork with my guy here, and I send all this to the title company. And then my real estate purchase contract with Fari says I'm closing in 30 days. Now, it took me nothing but a couple of hours because he's been calling me every day, seeing if I got a deal. So in a few hours, I already made $25,000 basically. I send the paperwork to the title company, and then at closing, I get a check for the difference. So the buyer needs to come in with the purchase contract plus my assignment fee. Okay, big difference with a real estate agent and a wholesaler. I want to make this distinction because I'm also an agent. Agents represent sellers and buyers in the transaction, so they have an agency relationship. A wholesaler is a principal in the transaction, meaning that they are signing as the buyer and/or assigns. So that's the and a wholesaler also gets paid an assignment fee. A real estate agent gets paid a commission. So as a wholesaler, there's potential on a deal, you can make a lot more money than a real estate agent, depending on what you can negotiate. Okay, so I try to simplify a deal. So as a wholesaler, you're basically just middleman in a transaction. The hard work, and why would an investor pay you $25,000 for a contract? Because once that seller signs that purchase contract with you, you're in control. You have equitable interest in the property. That seller can't sign with anyone else. So you're basically in control. You're in the driver's seat. And it took maybe 20 no's, 20 offers to get that one deal. So an investor that has multiple projects going on may not have the time to run that operation. So they're just looking for a deal served to them on a silver platter. With wholesaling, since you don't need a license, you could do this virtually anywhere in any market across the country. In the packet, I included a website. It's a subscription-based website to get data, and it's called PropStream. So you just need a PropStream account, and you can put together your sellers lists across the nation and your buyers list across the nation, and you can do deals virtually in different markets. You got guys, man, that's doing 10, 20, 30 deals a month. You know, so really this business, you could take it as far as you want. You could be the guy that just does a deal here and there, a deal a year, or multiple deals a month. I got my license at the end of 2010. So from 2009 to 2010, I was at this on my own, you know, sending letters, and I would get calls and I would fumble. I wouldn't know what to say. So I didn't start gaining traction until I got a mentor. So, you know, stressing the importance of mentorship and finding somebody to lead the way. I got a mentor at the end of 2010, and then finally closed my deal in 2011.